Good morning, great people. Thanks for tapping back into another Monday Matters segment. Today is August the 9th, 2021. Trust, 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 trust. It is one of those things where it takes so much time to build and gain, and it takes a matter of seconds to break. Trust is a firm belief in one's behaviors and actions that display reliability, dependability, truth. It demonstrates that a person will act a certain way. There are feelings of confidence and feelings of security. We all need those things in order for us to live a trusting life within ourselves and within the world. So, why is it hard to trust? I'm going to use two different reasons why I think it's hard for people to trust. One, your past experiences just continue to hold you back. Like everything that you do, you're showing up as this person from the past because of those past experiences. And therefore, it's hard for people to reach you sometimes. Sometimes it's hard for you to get in tune with yourself. You are hurt, so you end up hurting people. And good people at that's what makes it worse to me. Like hurt people. And instead of trying to understand that there's an issue, people, they don't take the time out to like revisit certain pain and trauma because they don't want to relive it. Or some people just don't even acknowledge it, so they just lead with the pain and the trauma that they've experienced, and they lack trust within themselves. They lack trust within other people. So if you've experienced any of these things, I can understand why there is a lack of trust, because you've experienced one of these things in the past and it had a negative effect on you. So fear of abandonment, if you've had abandonment issues, attachment issues, depression, anxiety, manipulation by somebody, betrayal by someone, or even towards yourself, abuse in any form, physical, mental, emotional, verbal, PTSD, with all of those things, like you go through an experience, and these are the effects of experiencing that. And so whether you deal with it or not is going to determine how you trust yourself and how you trust others. The other point as to why it's hard for people to trust is that there are a lot of unrealistic and unclear expectations, right? So sometimes we don't even put them on the table. You just go into a situation with some like unrealistic, bogus ass expectations of someone or yourself, and then when they're not lived up to, you're mad, you're upset, you're angry, or you lose trust within yourself or the other person because they didn't live up to those expectations. So one thing we have to start getting familiar with and getting comfortable with is having that trust conversation at the beginning of that development of a new relationship or friendship or what have you. Because once the situation occurs, it's always going to be harder to, rebuild that level of trust that once was there. So have that difficult conversation of what the expectations of trust should look like in that friendship, in that relationship. And when I say relationship, remember, it's not just about like in a intimate partnership. I'm talking about like school, work, business opportunities, things like that. Like you want to set those clear expectations so that in the end, when, whatever the outcome is, it's going to either align with your realistic expectations or it's going to align with your unrealistic expectations. So developing self-trust, it's staying true to yourself. It's choosing you over anybody else. And I'm not saying that in a selfish way. I'm saying choosing you. Like if you're in a bad situation and you know that you don't deserve that, remove yourself from the situation. If you're at a job and the job is not treating you and giving you what you need based on your own value of your self-worth, remove yourself from it. Choose you. Look after you. Make sure that you're good regardless of what. You also want to make sure that you're treating yourself well. What are you putting into your body? What are you reading? What are you putting into your mind? All those things. Who are you talking to? Who are you sharing your time and your space with? All of those things matter. Give yourself space to feel. I've been noticing, like, as I'm becoming more aware of myself, that people are afraid to be in the space of feelings. And I think it's because they lack an understanding that being in that space is actually very healing if you allow it to be healing. But I think people still associate being vulnerable, being sad, being hurt, being in that space that it's a negative thing, that it's a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of weakness. In all actuality, if you have the ability to tap into those emotions, that's a sign of strength to me. That just helps you become more in tune with who you are. It helps you continue to grow in life, and within yourself, within relationships, within just being in your human being. So don't ever let people make you feel like, just because you want to be in your space, like that's a bad thing. Don't stay there, but go ahead and like spend some time with those feelings. It's okay. You want to build a positive relationship with yourself. Do more of what you're good at and stay away from what you're bad at. You also want to implement self-care routines. I mean, daily, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever have you. Do something that shows that you are a priority. You also want to refuse to give up when difficult challenges are presented in front of you. Don't be that person that at the sign of difficulty, you give up. Now, if you ask me, that's weakness. If you give up immediately when, you're faced with something challenging, instead of like putting yourself to the test and going through it to really see what you're capable of doing to add continued healing to yourself, that's a sign of strength. Go through it. You'll grow through it at that, okay? How to rebuild trust. It's tough, and I think it's on an individual basis. Do you want to rebuild trust with this person? Do you want to rebuild trust within yourself? If you do, you want to consider why you did what you did, or consider why the other person did what they did. Consider. I'm not saying beat yourself up about it. I'm not saying dwell in it. I'm not saying anything. I said consider why it was done. Sometimes you're going to have to dig a little bit deeper because, our past experiences do tie into our behaviors and actions if we don't address it. So you may have to go back into some, childhood experiences, younger adult experiences, and understand why it is that you're showing these behaviors that, make you lack trust within yourself or with others. You also want to apologize in a genuine manner, and after you apologize, you want to make sure your behaviors and your actions are aligned with that genuine apology. Give things time. Again, going back to that space of, giving yourself space to feel. Give things time. Give yourself time to heal. Give the other person time to, heal. Whatever the case is, give it some time. The last thing you want to do is have a clear communication connection with yourself and with the other person, whoever may cause, the reason why you may lack trust within yourself or within others. Having that clear communication with yourself and others is just setting the tone for the nature of the relationship. So always give yourself and other people the opportunity to display the level of trust that you can have within them. Trust that people are going to show you exactly who they are. Words don't matter unless your actions do. So always remember that, and continue to rebuild that trust within yourself so that you can rebuild trust in human nature. That's my time today, y'all. Y'all have a blessed Monday. Peace.